Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nisha Avatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sanyakam Granthira Arambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinira Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Safal Nija Vanchita Purana Jai Jai Kripa Moy Jagatera Nath Sarva Jagatera Koro Shubha Drishtipat Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we will start with the fourth chapter of Adi-lila, Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta. In chapter 3, which we completed last week, we discussed the external reasons of Lord Chaitanya's appearance, primarily the call of his devotee to establish the Yoga Dharma and to annihilate the impurities and the main external reasons. Now, in this chapter, we will learn the confidential or the internal, the guhya reasons, karan, for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, in this chapter of the epic Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has stressed that Lord Chaitanya appeared for three principal purposes. Of his own. The first purpose was to relish the position of Srimati Radharani, who is the prime reciprocator of transcendental love of Sri Krishna. Lord Krishna is the reservoir of transcendental loving transactions with Srimati Radharani. The subject of those loving transactions is the Lord himself, and Srimati Radharani is the object. Thus, the subject, the Lord, wanted to relish the loving mellow in the position of the object, Radharani. The second reason for his appearance was to understand the transcendental mellow of himself. Lord Krishna is all sweetness. Radharani's attraction for Krishna is sublime, and to experience that attraction and understand the transcendental sweetness of himself, he accepted the mentality of Sri Radharani. The third reason that Lord Chaitanya appeared was to enjoy the bliss tasted by Radharani. The Lord thought that undoubtedly Radharani enjoyed his company, and he enjoyed the company of Radharani. But the exchange of transcendental mellow between the spiritual couple was more pleasing to Srimati Radharani than to Sri Krishna. Radharani felt more transcendental pleasure in the company of Sri Krishna. And then he could then he could understand without taking her position. But for Sri Krishna to enjoy in the position of Srimati Radharani was impossible because that position was completely foreign to him. Krishna is a transcendental male and Radharani is a transcendental female. Therefore, to know the transcendental pleasure of loving Krishna, Lord Krishna himself appeared as Lord Chaitanya, accepting the emotions and the bodily leisure of Srimati Radharani. Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to fulfill these confidential desires and also to preach special significance of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and to answer the call of Advaita Prabhu. These were secondary reasons. Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami was the principal figure among Lord Chaitanya's confidential devotees. The records of his diary have revealed these confidential purposes of the Lord. These revelations have been confirmed by the statements of Srila Rupa Goswami in his various prayers and poems. This chapter also specifically describes the difference between lust and love. The transactions of Krishna and Radha are completely different from material lust. Therefore, the author has very clearly distinguished between them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So, thank you, dear Vaishnavas, for joining. This is Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta, Adi-lila, chapter 4, the confidential reasons. So three main confidential reasons are discussed in this chapter, which we just read in the summary. So now let's dive deeper in this ocean of nectar. Would someone like to read the first verse, please? Yes, Vipul Prabhu, want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Honorable devotees, Dharma Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Text 1. Sri Chaitanya Prasadena Tadrupasya Vinayam Balahopi Kurute Shastram Drishta Braja Vilashino. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even a foolish child can fully describe the real nature of Lord Krishna, the angel of the pastimes of Braja, according to the vision of the revealed scriptures. Purport. One can ascertain the meaning of this Sanskrit sloka only when one is endowed with the causeless mercy of the Lord Sri Chaitanya. Lord Sri Krishna, being the absolute person of Godhead, cannot be exposed to the mundane instrument of vision. He reserves the right not to be exposed by the intellectual feats of non-devotees. Notwithstanding this truth, even a small child can easily understand Lord Sri Krishna and his transcendental pastimes in the land of Vrindavan by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, definitely, to know Krishna and Lord Chaitanya and to get attraction to them, to be a devotee of them, to understand them, we need the mercy, Guru Parampara, through to Lord Chaitanya and to Krishna. Otherwise, it's not possible for mundane people through intellectual feats or discussion to understand this spiritual knowledge. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, although a great devotee, but he's thinking, I'm a foolish child. It's only by the mercy of Lord I'm able to describe. So describing the pastimes of Lord is not by analytical study or IQ, but it's by the mood of humility, the mood of devotion to Krishna, the spiritual master, the devotees. Then only the Lord will choose to reveal to such a person who has that genuine humility, tolerance, bhakti. So very, very nice mood to before Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins to share. So let's see. Yes, Kashish Mataji, you want to sing this one?
Ji Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Dhanvat Pranam all devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 2. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glory to the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glory to Lord Nityananda, all glory to Sri Advaita Acharya, and all glory to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Back to you, Hare Krishna.
So this is, thank you Mataji. This verse is sung multiple times and very, very easy to remember. And we also should sing this every day. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Nityam Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, and all the Bhakta Vrinda. Vrinda means groups or Bhaktsmu. So basically, it's kind of similar to Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avtaram Bhaktabhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. This is a verse we should all know. It's not that difficult. So let's see the next verse. Yes. Prabir Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 3, chapter 4. চতুর্থ শ্লোকের অর্থ কৈল বিবরণ পঞ্চম শ্লোকের অর্থ শুন ভক্তগণ. I have the translation by His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. I have described the meaning of the fourth verse. Now, O devotee, kindly hear the explanation of the fifth verse. So we know that first verse is Shuvilash Prabhu always chant Bande Guru Nisham Bhakta Nisham. The second verse was Bande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shohodito Gauradaya Pushpavantu Chitra Sandutaman. The third verse was Jadvaitang Brahma Panishadi Tadapashyato Jyatmanta Jami Purushaiti Shoyashangshavyo Saraswajya Punnajaya Bhagavan Saswayamam Nachaitanyath Krishna Jagati Parattattam Paramiham. And fourth verse, Srila Rupa Goswami's Anarpita Choring, we read that in the last fourth verse was Anarpita Choring Chirat Korunaya Batinna Kalo Samarpayitumunnato Ujjala Rasang Sabukti Sriyam Hori Puruta Sundara Duti Kadamba Sandipita Sadaridaya Kandares Puruta Bashuchi Nandana. And fifth verse, Srila Prabhupada so nicely explained in the beginning, where and Prabhupada mentioned that it's from the Srila Swarup Damodar Gosai. I just want to share a few words here. In that verse, there is a book by His Holiness Srila Gaur-Govinda Maharaj, Separation. In that book, Maharaj actually explained that this verse started. That verse it says that in the Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mohima Kidishya Banayeva. If you look at that, Prabhupada explains so nicely here. The Radharani is that loving, so Krishna wanted to cherish that. And then Shadde Janadbhuta Madhurima Kidishya Modiyo. What was in me that Krishna was saying? So Srila Prabhupada explained here. And then Shoikhang Chasya Madanodbhavata Kidishang Beti Lobhat. Lobhat. Maharaj was saying that Lobhat. How come God lob is not a good word actually? It's greedy. Maharaj was saying this is greedy, but if we look at that, and Maharaj was explaining that how all the pastimes happen. Like if we remember, we read in Prahlad Maharaj where Yudhishthir Maharaj was asking that how come Shishupal was blaspheming Krishna, but he entered, and then Narad Muni was explaining. So all this started with Lovat. The Lord has the desire to release the different kind of transcendental malice. So, and then everything, Maharaj was saying that everything culminated in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I just wanted to share about that. So Krishna Prabhu, back to you. He said.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Actually, Prabir Prabhu knows all the verses, the 14 verses, which pretty much the whole Adi-lila is based on. So the verses, the fourth and the fifth verse being referred here are from chapter 1 actually. So the fourth is the Anarpita Chiramcharat Karunya Avatirna Kalau. This was discussed in the last chapter. And now fifth verse being referred to is this one, Radha Krishna Pranaya Krite Ladini Shakti Rasmat. So we'll discuss about, or Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami will talk about this verse in more detail. And I'm very happy to see Ishan is also present with such wonderful Vaishnav Tilak. Thank you, Prabhu. Do you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Moolashlokir Arthakarita Prakasha Arthalaga Arthalagaite Age Kahiye Abasha. Just to explain the original verse, I shall first suggest its meaning.
Thank you. Do you know, Ishan, who is I here? Who is this person speaking? Who is the author of Caitanya-Caritāmṛta? It's Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Okay. Who is the author of Bhagavatam? Do you know? Who spoke?
Prabhupada?
Well, Prabhupada gave the Bhaktivedanta commentary, but Sri Vedvyas and then Shukdev Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj primarily. But back to this one. So this is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing this whole book. Okay, thank you for so nicely reading. Yes, Muna Mataji, you want to read next verse? Okay, Nandini Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Chachurta slokira artha ikasara prema nama pracharite a avatara. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. I have given the essential meaning of the fourth verse. This incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, descends to propagate the chanting of the holy name and spread love of God. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So we discussed that verse. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopam Vastra Parshadam Yagge Sankirtana Prarijanti Sumedasa, to give the love of Godhead and the which no other incarnation had given, and to give the Sankirtana Yagya, the Yuga Dharma. So we discussed that. So let's see the next verse. Text 6. Mr. Nandini Mataji, you want to read this one?
Yes, Dhanavad. Satya ei hetu kintu iho bahiranga ara eka hetu shuna ache antaranga. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although this is true, this is but the external reason for the Lord's incarnation. Please hear one other reason, the confidential reason for the Lord's appearance. Purport. In the third chapter, fourth verse, it has been clearly said that Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to distribute love of Krishna and the chanting of his transcendental holy name, Hare Krishna. That was the secondary purpose of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. The real reason is different, as we shall see in this chapter. Haribol. So, chanting of the holy name we all know about is the Yuga Dharma, and Lord Chaitanya himself started it. Back to you, Prabhu. Please add. Hare Krishna.
So who will tell the external reasons?
Nam and Prem.
Nam and Prem. Very nice. Ishan, can you elaborate that? What does it mean? Lakshay, can you try?
Yes, Prabhuji. Is it a particular in religious practice and
Can't
dharma?
hear you. Can you please repeat?
Is it a decline in religious practice and dharma.
That's good. 4.7 of Bhagavad Gita. Am I audible?
Yes,
Or
Prabhu.
no? Okay.
And there is
So,
also Advaitacharya prayed. That's also one of the reasons.
yes, the devotee Hunkara, we discussed a lot of times. The lion-like roar to destroy the elephantine-like vices. So, what is the dharma in the Kali Yuga, Lakshay?
Chanting the Sankirtan.
Yes, Sankirtana, that's a yoga dharma. And to give the topmost love of Godhead and Advaitacharya's call. So these are some of the external reasons. Okay. But this chapter is entitled Confidential Reasons, Secret, Guhyatam Karan. We all like to know secrets, right? Why? What was the secret reason for Lord's appearance? So that we will study in this wonderful chapter. So I think now everyone knows two, three external reasons, correct? Internal reasons we will, because secrets we don't disclose in the first go, right? So we have to come again to hear the secret. Okay, so maybe we'll study the secret tomorrow. But before we stop, any comments or additions?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Just
please. Yeah.
actually, I heard from His Holiness Bharshana Maharaj. So Maharaj was saying that every Kali Yuga is Yuga Dharma is the Nam Sankirtan, and this Kali Yuga after Krishna comes and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, but other Kali Yugas the Yuga is Gaur Narayan. Maharaj was saying, and this Kali Yuga is especially very fortunate that because Mahaprabhu came and he introduced the Prem that Vrindavan Braj introduced there. In other Kali Yugas, it was only Yuga Nam Sankirtan. There was no Prem there. I mean, by doing that, what you can go to the Vaikuntha. It's the so that was just wanted to add. Krishna Prabhu, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. That means we're all very, very fortunate, right? To be born in this cycle of this
Very
same
fortunate.
Chatur Yuga where, right? How many Kali Yugas are there in one day of Brahma? Who knows the answer? How many Kali Yugas are there in one day of Brahma?
1,000. Oh, sorry.
1,000,
Yeah.
yes. That's correct. That's correct. 71 times 14 approximately. Round off to be 1,000. So we're so fortunate. 0.001 or 0.1% chance of appearance of taking birth here. So thank you, Prabhu. So we have the chance to get the topmost thing. Now it's our time to show the sincerity that yes, we really want the topmost thing. Otherwise, this chance will not come again and again. Okay, so we'll pause here. The